This particular news will blow your mind. You should have heard of Trump stopping United States funding of the USAID, that USAID will no longer do all of the things it used to do. So the money government puts aside for USAID, that's United States Agency for International Development, has now stopped. But investigations into the activity of the USAID in the last couple of years have been mind-boggling and mind-blowing. First, there have been revelations of funding for electric vehicles, LGBTQ funding across the world, which of course is not surprising, but it's been mind-boggling. And you expect that an agency responsible for international development will focus on development and all of the things that is said to do. But there is a new report that David Hundeyin has broken, and I'm doing this because for a lot of you are not on X, formerly Twitter, and then you may not have been able to catch up with this story, but it's heavy on X, and it's been mind-boggling, it's been revealing and shocking. So I'm going to allow you to see a clip of David Hundeyin reporting the story himself. Then I'll come back and break it down for all of us to understand. Some of these things you are going to hear now. Go ahead and take a watch.
The Columbia Journalism Review has revealed that over 6,000 journalists, 700 independent newsrooms, and nearly 300 independent fact-checkers, journalism trading organizations, and other media-focused NGOs have lost their funding due to Trump's gutting of USAID. But you want to know where else that chaos extends to? That's right here in West Africa. The NGO at the center of this is called the Center for Information Resilience, and it's a London-based NGO founded by two long-term employees of the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, Adam Rockland and Ross Burley. Cindy Otis, a former CIA analyst, also sits on the advisory board of this very non-governmental organization. And he received his funding from the FCDO and from USAID. A few weeks ago, it hosted a retreat involving a group of 10 Nigerian journalists at the famous Kempinski Hotel in Accra, Ghana. At the retreat, each journalist was given a copy of his Q3 2024 Adaptive Country Plan, which is basically a document that outlines which prominent West African voices that British intelligence approves of and which ones it views as threats. So what approved people and positions were to be defended according to this document? Civil society actors, Nigeria's president, Shell, Bill Gates, GMOs, vaccine. And who were the threats? Pan-Africanist, anti-GMO campaigners, anti-Bill Gates content, Twitter users who criticized Shell, Peter Obi, and of course, David Hundeyin. Now, each of the 10 journalists was subsequently dispatched to Nigeria with a mission: produce one story every quarter that smears the voices marked as threats, with accusations of being pro-Kremlin, Russian-sponsored, misinformation, or any other combination of this buzzword soup. Their compensation was set at £1,000 a quarter. In other words, British and US taxpayers have been funding hostile foreign intelligence operations targeting journalists and social media users in West Africa, using this toxic soup of shadowy, extremely governmental, non-governmental organization, and clandestine, unaccountable funding arrangements. As Donald Trump's war on USAID continues, it remains to be seen how far he would go in his mission to defund and rein in these out-of-control, unaccountable, secret state operations on both sides of the Atlantic.
You see, we don't actually own this world. What is happening behind the scenes of this world actually dictates it. So let me break that down. So upon Trump cutting down US aid funding, a lot of revelations came out. And then one of which was a couple of weeks ago, it was now revealed that there are several organizations, non-governmental organizations, journalists, independent houses, independent reporters, bloggers, that is being funded or co-funded by USAID and an NGO, or through an NGO in the United Kingdom, that helps to push a message. First, they have certain conversations that they must push. Big Gate, vaccine, GMOs, of course, you know GMOs, right? We'll talk about GMOs in a short while, how this is very important. Shell and all of that. So, and they also have threats, people that they should always consider that they are a problem and they should attack. And then, like David put it there, monies were set aside for them to attack this person, create one stunning story to seem as if they are fact-checking and all of that. And 10 Nigerians, fortunately 10 of them are very, very strong Baptists. I mean, they are pro Bola Tinubu. Of course, you should have heard there that Bola Tinubu is also a protected person along of this, because maybe that is what they put in. I don't know how much of this directly or indirectly impacts the Nigerian situation, but that is the story, right? So these 10 persons who are pro Tinubu they were in that meeting in Ghana, and they were empowered to ensure that they do. Peter Obi is on the list, David Hundeyin is on the list. As I talk to you, it's been 48 hours and even more that David Hundeyin has, with his full chest, listed them and tagged their Twitter handle, right? Some of them that has blocked him probably couldn't tag them, but he tagged that, as you can see right now. Guess what? None of these guys are currently out explaining, because they are good with fact checking. They are the ones that when Peter B says anything, anybody says anything, they'll come and put fact check. And if you go to their bio, you will see that all of them have fact check. Now, why is this worrisome? I'll take you through the GMO report, which would help you. Now, GMO stands for genetically modified organisms, right? Genetically modified organisms. And let me break it down. I had to go and do this so that you understand, so you read along. It refers to an organism that has had its DNA altered in a lab to produce a desired trait or biological product. Now, follow me clearly. How are GMOs created? Scientists modify an organism's DNA in a lab. The goal is to favor the expression of certain traits or the production of certain biological products. GMOs can be plants, animals, or microbes, right? Examples of GMOs are corn, soybeans, cotton, potatoes, papaya, summer squash, canola, and alfalfa. Okay. Benefits of GMOs. Now listen very carefully. GMOs can be cheaper. GMOs have more nutrients. Can have fewer pesticides. GMOs can be modified to grow faster, taste sweeter, or look better. Now, this part of it is what will interest you. Concerns about GMOs. Some people are concerned that GMOs are harmful to human health. Some people are concerned that GMOs are harmful to the environment. Some people are concerned that GMOs may increase antibiotic resistance. Some people are concerned that GMOs may cause allergic reactions. And all of these are in public place. So why will a government agency, along with an NGO, go ahead to be funding conversations like this when the concerns are much more than the benefits? And you see, all of the anti-Bill Gates matter. A lot of people have named Bill Gates a lot of things, and a lot of people drag him, but some of us have been very skeptical about this. But if this is true, then they are valid as well. Bill Gates has been involved in a lot of these GMOs distribution and awareness and campaigns. He's involved in vaccines, and now there are organizations that the US government is co-founding that is helping to push this message and name people. So why is Peter Obi on the list? Because of course, most of the young people following Peter Obi, for example, are people that are radical and not interested in a lot of these global conversations, right? And this guy, see, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is also in a protective, one of the people that they call the most be protected at all costs. This is worrisome, right? And again, I'm worried that a lot of these conversations are not in the mainstream space. A lot of us are following gossips and here and there, whereas these are things that should take serious. Why are Nigerians now being used to also create? Because as I talked to you last year, and this is just respectfully, last year I was contacted by a federal government agency, and then they were supposed to do a anti-GMO campaign, and then I was contacted, and we had conversations, and we were supposed to go. They didn't get back to me, and I'm sure that this agency may have gotten funding, or maybe they didn't get funding, or whatever it is. But it is important that as a people we consider all of this, and then begin to look at ways. Why are we using science, using science or altering human existence or normalcy just so that we want to push a particular agenda, whereas that particular thing has its harmful effect on the people? So this is actually out in the public place, and I'm just wanting you guys to know, so you know what it is. Now you see where all of these campaigns are coming from. You wake up today and you read all of these things. You read this was exactly the same way that the 2015 elections was brought over, which of course is a story that I think we should look onto in no distant time. I'll catch you another time. Please be aware and be sensitive. Be aware. Not all the stories you see online that is from the heart of good people. Some of these guys continue to carry this campaign, and they are being paid, funded by international organizations to do smear campaigns against certain persons, against certain others, against certain interests, just for their own selfish interests, not knowing that they are furthermore destroying the country and destroying human lives. And God will help us.